Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Ted Ellis Field for tonight's contest between the visiting number 5 Winfield Generals, who comes in at 11-6. They will be taking on the newly ranked number 1 12-2 Chapmanville Regional Tigers. Tonight, Chapmanville and Winfield is going to meet in a crucial Cardinal Conference matchup and a regional matchup, as both teams are in the top 5 and they're looking to maintain pace to being the number 1 overall seed in Region 4 for this baseball season. Chapmanville is coming in tonight with wins over Logan, Scott, and this Winfield Ball Club team down at Winfield. And they are undefeated in the Cardinal Conference and undefeated in sectional and regional play, and they are winners of their last 7 in a row. And Josh Rakes has this team hitting very well throughout the remainder of this 7th-game win streak, and they're looking to make it 8. It could have been 8, but they had a game against Wayne down in Wayne postponed due to weather, so that game will be made up at a later day. But Josh Rakes believes in this ball club. He believes that they can get to the regional finals. They can knock off the 2-time defending state champion Logan, represent Region 4 Section 2 against either a Winfield, Sissonville, Polka, Point, or Nitro Ball Club. And Josh Rakes has his team believing. And looking on the other side of this contest, the Winfield Generals come in with 11-6 with split wins, crucial wins over Logan, Scott, and Ripley. Winfield split the season series with those 3 ball clubs. Ripley's not in the region as in Region 4 and even in the class in AAA. They're in AAA and they're not in AA but that's a very well balanced ball club at Ripley, and Winfield split with them in the regular season, and they come in with winner that won 8 of their last 10 ball games entering in this contest, and they're looking to maintain that winning streak, maintain those winning ways against this Chapmanville Tigers. So right real quick, we're going to step aside for the national anthem, and we'll be right back as you're watching Chapmanville Regional High School Baseball live on Video Productions. All right, and we're back as we're getting set for the first pitch between Chapmanville and Winfield. And we're going to take a look at the starting lineups first for Winfield. Batting first, the pitcher, number 34, Carson Fry, the senior for the junior for the Winfield Generals. And then we're going to look at this batting second, the first baseman, number 9, Blake Withrow, the freshman. A freshman getting the start tonight at first base for Winfield. Batting third, the catcher, number 3, Dylan Cole, the senior. And then batting fourth and cleanup will be the center fielder, number 4, Maddox Schaefer. And then batting fifth for the Winfield Generals, the shortstop, number 5, Bryson Brown. And then batting sixth for the Generals. Number 12, second baseman, Brett Bumgarner. Batting sixth, the DH, number 6, Gray Miller. He is batting for the right fielder, number 7, Brayton Boggs. Batting eighth for the Winfield Generals, number 2, left fielder, Preston Kiefer. And then batting ninth, the third baseman, number 21, Xavier Hensley. On the mound for the Chapmanville Tigers is ace pitcher Jacob Topping, who's coming in with winners of his last meeting. Last outing he had on the mound was against Logan, and he shut down the highly touted offense of Logan as they couldn't get no answers against Topping. And tonight he's going to try to do the same thing against this Winfield Generals team. Head coach for the Generals will be Will Isaacs. And he's got this Winfield Ball Club believing that if they can get a win over number 1, they can pretty much secure maybe the new number 1 spot, move up into the top 3. As we're going to look at the rankings real quick for in this Class AA, and this just tells you how balanced the state is, or how dominant one region is. As in Class AA top 10, number 1 sits Chapmanville, number 2 sits Fairmont Senior, and after Logan dropping 2 straight to Winfield and Chapmanville, they dropped to number 3. Scott moves up to number 4, and Winfield is in at number 5. So 4 out of the 5 teams in the top 5 are in one region and in the Cardinal Conference. That just tells you how brutal Region 4 is for high school baseball in Class AA. Rounding out the top 10 is number 6, Shady Springs. Number 7, another Cardinal Conference team, Herbert Hoover. Number 8, Kaiser. Number 10, Pikeview. And number 9, Pikeview. And number 10, North Marion. As where it gets set for high school baseball between number 1, Chapmanville, and number 5, Winfield. As leading off is Carson Fry, and he takes that pitch. Little low to the outside, ball 1. Topping gets his signs. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed by Fry. Count goes even at 1. And Topping's going to try to mow down this Winfield lineup as fast as possible he can, as that ball's low into the dirt for ball 2. And if you're Winfield, you would love to get a leadoff runner on first base to put the pressure on the Chapmanville Tigers, as nobody is able to put pressure on Topping this season. Topping pitches, swung on and missed. Strike 2, count even at 2. Topping is going to try to look to strike out Fry here. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And that's the first strikeout for Carson Fry. And now that'll bring up the first baseman, Blake Withrow. And just mentioned, he's a freshman for this Winfield Ball Club. You don't really see many freshmen in the top 3 in batting order in high school baseball. But this kid is talented, and he's going to try to make Chapmanville pay with his bat, as that pitch is low and inside. Strike 1. Good pitch for Jacob Topping. Topping with a 1 pitch, and swung on a miss by Withrow. Strike 2. This Topping is ahead of Withrow. And how big would this be if Topping can sit down Withrow and get out number 2? Swung on and missed, strike 3. That's Topping's second strikeout of the evening. And that's the second straight batter he put down on strikes. As now coming up to the plate for Winfield will be the catcher, number 3, Dylan Cool. As we're going to go over the infield for Chapmanville. On the mound is Jacob Topping. Behind the plate for the Tigers is senior Brody Dalton. At first base is Andrew Farley. Second base for the Tigers, Luke Knight. Shortstop, Talon Thompson. And third base, Braylon Moore. As Cole hits that one high, Butcher's trying to track it down, and he tracks it down at the warning track for out number 3. And we'll finish the Chapmanville lineup next time they're out on the field. But with no hits, Chapmanville sits down Winfield, and they're going to come up to bat. So we'll be right back as you're watching Chapmanville Tiger Baseball live on Video Productions. I hope I don't sound bad. for someone that don't know baseball?
No, I can't even tell.
I appreciate that. You from Chapmanville?
No.
Where are you from?
Charleston. I went to GW.
GW. So everything's like a GW family down there with Robbie and Butch and all them.
Yeah, I date Robbie.
You date Robbie? Is he that bad? Nah, I love Robbie. Oh, Lord. Let me know when we're back. All right, we're back. Here at the bottom of the first, Chapmanville's coming up to bat. Leading off for the Tigers is number 3, Luke Knight. Again, those who are watching, I am Daniel Miller. Alongside me is Sydney Mayo, our engineer, and our camera operator, Robbie Mounts. Hopefully he don't get blown off from this heavy wind that we're supposed to get today. But now we're set for Chapmanville coming up to bat. Luke Knight, the junior, leading off for the Tigers. As Carson Fry's on the mound for the Generals. As Knight pops that one in the air to left field. It could be in no man's land. Nope. Caught by the shortstop for the Tigers, for the Generals, Brown, and for out number 1. And now that'll bring up number 2, a sophomore, Talon Thompson for Chapmanville. And Chapmanville's wearing their orange uniforms with black hats and white pants. Winfield is in their green hats, green jerseys with white pants. As Chapmanville's coming in with a hot bat from what they did last time I got my eyes on them against Riverside. Fry. Here comes the pitch, and that is in there. Strike 1. And right now, Fry would love to sit down Thompson to get out number 2, and that pitch just misses outside for ball 1. Fry with the 1-1 pitch, and that is in there low. Strike 2. We'll go over the infield after the batter of Talon Thompson, as Fry is going to deliver the 1-2 pitch to Thompson, and that's hit right back up the middle for a base hit. Talon Thompson will get the first hit of the ball game for Chapmanville, as that'll bring up senior leader for the Chapmanville Tigers, number 14, Brody Dalton. And now we're going to go over the infield for Winfield. Man on the mound is Carson Fry. Catchers, Dylan Cool. At first base for the Generals, Blake Withrow. Second baseman, Brett Bumgarner. Shortstop, Bryson Brown. And third base, Xavier Hensley. We'll go over the outfield after this pitch, as that pitch to Brody Dalton is in there for strike 1. In the outfield from left to right, you have Preston Kiefer at left, Maddox Schaefer at center, and right fielder is Bray Boggs, as Dalton fouls that one over the press box. Hopefully it didn't hit nobody for a strike 2 call. So now it'll be 0-2 count for Brody Dalton. Carson Fry looking back over at first at Thompson, trying to keep him at bay. He's going to make the pitch, and Brody Dalton gets a base hit. Thompson was running, as Thompson's going to advance all the way to third. Brody Dalton will hold up at second. So another base hit for the Tigers, and this one comes by Brody Dalton, as Thompson was stealing the second, and he took advantage of that hit from Brody Dalton and makes it all the way to third base. And now that'll bring up the center fielder, number 9, Trey Butcher, who's also had a hot bat for the Tigers. As if he can get a hold of one, he can put one into the gap and give Chapmanville the early lead on Winfield. Fry 2 pitch, and that is inside, almost hit Butcher. Called ball 1. Fry, look back, he slipped on the mound, and that will be a balk, as Thompson will come home And Dalton will move to second. Just a misstep by Carson Fry, fell on the mound. And Chapmanville takes advantage of that miscue. Hopefully Fry's okay. He's not acting like he hurt himself, but he was going to fake throw over to first, and as soon as he went to throw, if you can get a look on the instant replay, if we have it, that Fry was going to fake throw to first, and he just lost his footing. As we're looking here on an instant replay, he thought about throwing over the first, and he just slid on the mound. Just unfortunate break there for Winfield. And Chapmanville takes advantage of it. They score early, 1-0 over Winfield. So the officials are at the mound trying to make sure that that mound is okay. And Carson Fry, he says it's okay. And now Trey Butcher will step back into the plate. So after that short break, we're back to baseball as Butcher faces a 1-0 count on Fry. Here comes the pitch, and that misses on the outside zone, ball 2. As Fry doesn't want to give anything easy to the Chapmanville Tigers, as this team can really hit the ball, and if you give them a pitch they like, they will make you pay. Fry to pitch, and that misses high upstairs for ball 3. 3-0 count to Butcher. And you would have to think if maybe if Butcher walks here, you might see Coach Isaacs come out there to talk to his senior pitcher, Fry. As Fry's thrown back over to second as Brody Dawn's in there safe. So Fry's doing everything he can to keep the runners at bay, not wanting them to take off. But for those watching, last time he did that, he fell off the mound. Looking back at second, here comes the 3-0 pitch, and Butcher foul tips it out of play. Count goes to 3-1. Fry gets his sign from Cole. And here comes the 3-1 pitch, inside, ball 4. And that'll be the first walk of the game. And now that brings up the dangerous hitter, Andrew Farley. The last time we saw him in here down in Chapmanville, he hit 2 home runs. And if you're not careful, if you leave something for Andrew Farley, he will put it out of play and make you pay. As Brown with the pitch to Farley, high upstairs, ball 1. With only 1 out on the board. Fry is already at 16 pitches. And they're going to throw over there, and it gets away from the second baseman, and Brody Dalton will take third on an aired throw by Carson Fry. The second baseman for the Winfield Generals, Bumgardner, was in the area, but that pitch was just way out of his reach, and Brody Dalton takes advantage of it, moves over to third. So Chapmanville has a runner at the corners. As if you look on our instant replay, the ball just gets away, and Brody Dalton heads to third. So Carson Fry with a 1-0 pitch to Farley. That is low outside of the zone, ball 2. Fry gets his signs from Cole. Here comes the pitch, and Farley fouls it back over our head. Count will go to 2-1. So Carson Fry is just trying to, he's keeping an eye on the runners, but he doesn't want to leave anything up for Farley as he throws back over to first. And Butcher is back in there safe. Fry's trying to keep the runners from advancing and maybe try to get an easy pick play over at first or at third. They tried it at second, and just when an air throw got away. Fry throws back over. And Butcher's back in there safe. Again, Chapmanville winners of 7 in a row. They were scheduled to play Wayne. That game's still in progress, but it got delayed as we'll finish that. And that pitch is in there high, strike 2. But that game is still technically in progress. It's just been suspended due to weather. And the score for that one is, well, they're going to move it to a later date. Because I couldn't get the score. That pitch is popped up and out of play. Count remains even at 2. And Chapmanville just wants to take advantage of this opportunity with Farley at the plate. And behind him will be the junior Joey Canterbury. Fry looking over at first at Butcher. Throws over to Withrow, and Butcher is back in there safe. Fry looks over the signs from Cole. He likes what he sees. Looks back at first. And here comes the pitch. And Farley swung on and missed. Strike 3. And that is the first strikeout of the game for Carson Fry. As now stepping up to the plate for the Tigers is number 8, Joey Canterbury. Canterbury is going to try to have the opportunity to bring in Dalton from third, hopefully with a base hit here, as Fry retires Farley here in the bottom of the first. Fry, 2 pitch, and that is high inside, ball 1. And this weekend, Chapmanville has a big Daffer tournament come up. We'll talk more about that later on in the broadcast. And hopefully the broadcast will be, tournament will be played depending on the weather. Fry, 2 pitch, upstairs again, ball 2. Fry looks over at first. Here comes the 2-0 pitch, swung on and missed for strike 1. And Joseph Canterbury, the transfer from Logan High School. And in his freshman season at Logan, he threw a perfect game against Mingo Central. And that there will be no pitches. Throw over to first to Withrow, and Butcher's back in there safe. And Carson Fry knows how fast Trey Butcher is for the Tigers. And he doesn't want to give him an easy base, as Trey Butcher is more likely to steal. Here comes the pitch. Butcher's taking off. And Brody Dalton is coming. He's in a pickle right now. He's going to throw home to second, and Brody Dalton jumped, and he is tagged out by Dylan Cole. He tried to do everything to touch home plate, but he was tagged before he was able to touch home plate. And with that, that'll be the end of the first inning. Chapmanville takes a lead, 1-0, off of a balk by Carson Fry that advanced Talon Thompson home from third. So with that, we're going to head to the second inning, but before that, we'll be right back as you're watching Chapmanville Regional Tiger Baseball live on Video Productions. All right, welcome back to Ted Ellis Field for Chapmanville and Winfield. Number 1 versus number 5. The Tigers number 1, Winfield number 5. And now coming up to the bat for the Winfield Generals is number 4, Maddox Schaefer, the center fielder. As Toppings pitched to Schaefer, swung on and missed for strike 1. Topping the lefty pitch, and that is foul tip back into the netting for strike 2. Topping has 2 strikeouts on the day, looking to make it 3 against Schaefer. Topping with the 0-2 pitch, and they check his swing, and they said he went around. Strike 3, and that's Topping's third strikeout of the contest. And now bring up number 5, the shortstop Bryson Brown, a senior, as this Winfield ball club is senior heavy. Topping to pitch to Brown, and that is low, just misses the strike zone for ball 1. Here comes the pitch from Topping, as that is foul out play for called strike. 1-1 count to Bryson Brown. Topping with the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Foul tipped, actually. Went behind Brody Dalton. But that will be strike 2. So Topping's trying to make easy work of this Winfield lineup. Topping with the 1-2 pitch. And that is low into the dirt, ball 2. And then going back to the Wayne Chapmanville game that was supposed to be played on Friday, April 14th, it is suspended with Wayne leading Chapmanville 5-6 as that pitch from Topping is high upstairs. Count goes to full, 3-2. But give an update on that delayed game, that they were in the bottom of the 3rd, as that pitch is low, ball 4, and that's Topping's first walked batter of the contest. And that'll bring up number 12, Brett Bumgardner, the second baseman, and another senior in this Winfield lineup. But back to what I was saying, as Wayne had a runner on 3rd with 2 outs, leading Chapmanville 6-5. Topping pitches to Bumgardner, swung on and missed, strike 1. So that game will be made up at a later date. Don't know when. But coaches are going to talk it over when they can get that game made up, as Toppings pitch to Bumgardner. And that is low. That's in there, strike 2. Topping throws over to Farley as Brown is in there safe. With only 1 out on the board here in the top of the 2nd. Chapmanville leads 1-0. Topping 2 pitch, and that is hit on, foul, out of play as Brown was taken off the 2nd. And maybe if Bumgardner didn't make contact with it, Brown would have probably been standing on 2nd in scoring position. But Bumgardner, with an 0-2 count, had to do the best thing he judgment play to keep alive, as that pitch from Topping, and it is swung on hard. Joey Canterbury back at the wall. He makes the grab for out number 2. Bumgardner got a good charge on that, but Joey Canterbury was able to make the play in left field, and that is out number 2. And Brown will stay at first. And now coming up to the plate for Winfield, the designated hitter, number 6, Gray Miller. He is hitting for the right fielder, Bray Boggs. And Gray Miller, another senior in this Winfield lineup. Topping throws over to first to Farley as Brown is back in there safe. So just like what Fry did to Chapmanville in the bottom of the 1st, Topping's doing the same thing here in the top of the 2nd. Topping throws over to Farley, gets away, and Brown is going to take 2nd as that throw is just wild out of the reach of Big Andrew Farley, and Brown will stay on at 2nd. As I would assume, it's hard to miss a guy like Andrew Farley, standing has to be well over close to 6'5", or maybe over. As that is one tall kid, and he's only a junior. And here comes the pitch from Topping, foul out of play for Gray Miller. Count will go 0-1. And Winfield has yet to get a hit in this game. As Topping's doing a great job. He struck out 3 batters. As Brown heads to third on a steal, no throw from Dalton. And Winfield has a runner 90 feet away from home plate. And that pitch was called ball. So the 1-1 count to Miller. Topping. 1-1 pitch. And Miller hits that one into left field, and that will score a run and tie up the ball game. As Gray Miller gets a single, an RBI single, and Winfield has tied up the ball game, and that is the first hit for the Generals this evening. Gray Miller loved what he's seen. Maybe if we can get an instant replay and just look on how Gray Miller got a hold of that pitch, and he took that to left field. And I don't think we can get a replay on that one. But good hit by Gray Miller, and Topping with the pitch high upstairs, ball 1. And batting for the Winfield Generals will be the left fielder, Preston Kiefer. Topping, 2 pitch, swung on and miss. Strike 1. So Winfield answers back of what Chapmanville put up a run in the bottom of the first. Topping with a 1-1 pitch. And that pitch is foul tipped back towards the backstop. Count goes to 1-2. Topping throws over to first and almost got him, as Miller was just able to get back into first safely, as just a little bit another second delay, and Chapmanville would have had a pick off at first, and that would have ended the inning. Topping, 2 pitch, swung on a miss, strike 3, and that is Jacob Topping's 4th strikeout of the evening, and that will end the top of the second. Winfield gets a hit from Gray Miller to tie it up at 1 apiece. So we're going to step aside and be right back as you're watching Chapmanville Tigers baseball live on Video Productions. All right, we're back at Ted Ellis Field between number 1 Chapmanville and number 5 Winfield. Tied up at 1, Fry with a 2-0 pitch to Canterbury. And that pitch misses outside for ball 3. Fry, 2 pitch, And that is in there, called strike one. As Canterbury, he batted in the first inning, but he wasn't able to finish the bat as Brody Dalton got tagged out at home plate off of an attempt to steal. Fry to pitch to Canterbury, and that is popped up. Will get out of play, and it looks like it will. It'll reach the road here at Chapmanville, and the count will go full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Fry with a full count pitch coming to Canterbury. And that is outside, ball 4. Now will be the second walk given by Carson Fry to Chapmanville. And now I'll bring up the senior pitcher, number 13, Jacob Topping. Topping, the left-handed pitcher. He could probably lay down a bunt here and move Canterbury over to second, as Chapmanville would trade an out for a advancement run, as that pitch just misses outside of the zone. Ball 1. Third baseman for the Winfield Generals, Hensley, is moving up into the infield. Fry with the 1-0 pitch. Outside into the dirt. Ball 2. So you would have to think Coach Isaacs is coaching this Winfield ball club to try to take out that leading runner if Topping was to lay down a bunt. As Topping hits that one foul out of play behind the press box. Count goes 2-1. Fry looked over at first. He gets his sign from Cole. He's going to throw over to first, and Canterbury's back in there safe. As Fry is not giving anything easy to the Chapmanville runners. He is keeping them at bay, and he's keeping them on alert. Fry gets his sign. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Topping. Foul ball out of play. Count goes even at 2. Topping was just a little bit late on that one. If he could have probably lined that up, he could have dropped that into left field. But back at Riverside, Jacob Topping had a base hit up the middle, bounced off of the pitcher's mound, and went flat. I'll finish that here in a second, as that pitch was into the dirt. Ball 3, count goes full. But Topping had just an unusual hit. He hit that ball right back up the middle, bounced off of the pitcher's mound, and then where it hit the pitcher's mound, it bounced over the shortstop who tried to play it, come in and play the ball, and Topping got a single off of that one. As that pitch is swung on a miss by Jacob Topping. Strike 3 and out number 1. And Carson Fry, second strikeout of the night. And that'll bring up number 18, the third baseman, sophomore, Braylon Moore. So with 1 out on the board, Chapmanville and Winfield are tied at 1. As we do apologize, this is the only camera we have right now, as thanks to the winds, it kind of knocked out a lot of our other angles, as that pitch just misses low outside, ball 1. Fry pitches outside into the dirt again, ball 2. As Fry's keeping his eye on the runner at first, Joey Canterbury, who gone on by a walk. Fry with a 2-0 pitch, 2 more, and that is low outside of the zone, ball 3. Fry with a 3-0 pitch, and that is low into the dirt, gets away from the catcher, ball 4, and Joey Canterbury will trot on down to second, and Moore will trot on down to first. And now that'll bring up the designated hitter for the Chapmanville Tigers, batting ninth, number 7, senior Eli Surgoin. He is batting for the right fielder of Chapmanville, Lucas Price, who's also a senior. So with one out on the board, Chapmanville has a runner in scoring position at second and another runner on at first, as Josh Rakes is giving Eli Surgoin his instructions to move the runners over and get them in scoring position to try to re-grab this lead. As both pitchers have done a really good job pitching today for Chapmanville Winfield, as Winfield gave up 2 hits. Chapmanville's only gave up 1. And that pitch is in there, called strike 1. Fry looks back at second. Here comes the 1-0-1 pitch. Swung on a miss by Surgoin. Strike 2. And again, this is the best camera angle we can bring you tonight, as the wind has done its damage here. So we're going to try to get back up multiple camera angles if we can. Fry with the 0-2 pitch. And called strike 3. Looking is Eli Surgoin. And that will be strikeout number 3 for Carson Fry. And that's going to bring back up the top of the lineup for Chapmanville's number 3, Luke Knight. And Luke Knight, his last at bat, he popped up to the shortstop who made the catch into shallow left. Knight's going to try to lay down a bunt, and that pitch is in there, called strike 1. Fry looks back at second, looks at the runner at second. Here comes the pitch. And Knight gets a base hit right past the second baseman. Canterbury's going to round third. He is heading to the plate. There's going to be a play at the plate, and they got him out at home plate. Good throw by the right fielder Boggs to throw over to Cole to make the tag at third, as Canterbury had a good jump on that one, but good throw from Winfield, as hopefully you can see on our instant replay. Good throw to Cole, and he got the tag in time to get Canterbury out. As Canterbury's shaking up a little bit at home plate. But Chapmanville leaves an opportunity on the base pass, as Canterbury got tagged out at home. So with that, we're going to go in to the bottom of the second with Chapmanville leading. Top of the third with Chapmanville and Winfield tied at 1. So we'll step aside as you're watching Chapmanville Tigers baseball live on Video Productions. Welcome back here in the top of the third. Chapmanville and Winfield are tied at 1. As at the last here in the last part of the second inning, Joey Canterbury was supposed to be the go-ahead and leading run, but he got tagged out from a throw from Boggs over to the catcher Cole, and it was very close as Cole got Canterbury on the arm. And now that'll bring up the third baseman, the 9-hole hitter, Xavier Hensley, as that ball is thrown into the dirt for ball 1. And topping on the evening with 4 strikeouts and only gave up 1 hit. And that pitch is in there low for strike one. Again, I am Daniel Miller. Along with me is our engineer for this contest, Cindy Mayo. Robbie Mounts, our camera operator, as Hensley hits that one into left field, and that'll be a base hit for the Generals. As the ball gets away, but picked up by Farley. But not before Xavier Hensley gets a base hit, ripper right down into third base lines. You can see on video productions. He's got one down left field. And with that hit, that'll turn the lineup back to the top of the order with Carson Fry leading off for the Generals. Well, he is the leadoff man as Toppings throw it over to Farley high as Xavier Hensley gets in there safe. One of the parents' worst nightmares to have to clean a baseball jersey and pants, as they are hard to get out as Topping pitches. Fry lays down the bunt. Topping throws over to second, and Talon Thompson was able to corral the ball. No, he dropped the ball, and Xavier Hensley is in there safe as Thompson had the ball. It just came out of his glove, and an unlucky break there for the Tigers, as if he would have been able to hold on to that. He had two attempts to hold on to it. If you can look here on our instant replay, has a beautiful bump by Carson Brown back up to first. Topping, good awareness to throw to second, and the throw to second base. Shortstop Talon Thompson just couldn't grout as Winfield lays down another bunt, goes foul behind the plate for strike one. So Winfield has two runners. Has two runners in scoring position. And now batting for the Winfield Generals is number 9, Blake Withrow, the freshman, first baseman. Topping, 2-pitch, high, upstairs, ball 1. Topping with a 1-1 pitch. And that is outside the zone. Ball 2. Topping, the left-handed pitcher. You don't see many left-handed pitchers here in the southern part. I only know 3 other, as that pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 2. But Topping, a senior leader on this team, is trying to will as Winfield lays down a bunt, and it will go foul out of play for strike 2 or strike 3. And if he didn't lay down the bunt, Winfield would have had 2 runners in scoring position, 1 at third, 1 at second. So that will go down as a strikeout for Winfield, for Withrow, excuse me. And now that'll bring up Dylan Cole to the plate. As Brody Dalton is getting his signs, as Winfield's going to try to use their speed, play a little bit of small ball to move around the base passes. They got speed on the bases. Topping looks over at second. Looks back at second. He takes a third look, and he makes a throw, and that pitch just foul tipped out and almost came over the net. So the count will go 0-1 for Dylan Cole. Topping gets his signs from Dalton. He thought about throwing over to second. He holds it in his glove, in his hand. But Topping's going to do everything he can to keep the runners at bay at their base and try not to get any advancement. Here comes the pitch from Topping, and that pitch is swung on foul out of play over the press box heads for an 0-2 count now to Dylan Cole. Dylan Cole's last at bat, he flew out to center field for the third and final out of the first inning. And Topping, good awareness to keep Hensley at second, as he was ready to throw over to third in case Hensley was ready to take off the third. So Cole with an 0-2 count from the pitcher, Topping. Topping looking back at second, and he steps back off the mound. As the Winfield Ball Club in the dugout is trying to get to Jacob Topping, trying to get him rattled. Topping looks back at second. Here comes the pitch, and that is swung on and miss for strike 3, out number 2, and that is Topping's 6th strikeout of the contest. And now coming up to the plate for the Generals is number 4, Maddox Schaefer. I am Daniel Miller, and you're watching video productions of Chapmanville Tiger Baseball. Topping looks back at second. Here comes the pitch. High, and Brody Dalton fakes throws. And that pitch will miss the zone for ball 1. I'm usually on the WVOW radio as a color analyst, but I decided to give my try out at leading the broadcast, as that pitch is inside for ball 2. So 2 outs on the board, runners at first and second. Winfield would love a base hit here to give them the lead. As that pitch, as Dalton throws down, they got a pickle play. Tyler Thompson throws over to third, and the ball gets away. Hensley's going to try to run home, but no, he's going to get back, and he's going to get on the base. As he beat the race with Moore as they both dived into third base. So Xavier Hensley was almost caught down in a pickle play, and Talon Thompson throws over to third, and it was able to get away. As you can look on our instant replay, Dalton, good throw to short to Talon Thompson, throws over to Moore. It just bounced. It looks like it bounced off the helmet of Hensley. And it got away, and Hensley was able. He thought about going home, but he saw Moore was able to track it back, and he got back into third. And that pitch is outside. Count goes to 3-1 for Schaefer. As that last pitch was counted strike before that sequence happened at third base. Topping with a 3-1 pitch, and that's a swing and a miss. Strike 2. As 1 strikeout away for Chapmanville getting out of this jam with 2 runners in scoring position. A walk doesn't hurt, but a walk loads the bases for Winfield. Topping, 2 pitch, swung on a miss, strike 3. As Topping strikes out his 7th batter, and Winfield leaves 2 runners stranded, 1 at second, 1 at third. As we're going into the bottom of the third, the score is still even at 1 between Chapmanville, number 1, and Winfield, number 5. So we'll be right back as you're watching Chapmanville Tigers Baseball live on Video Productions. All right, welcome back to Ted Ellis Field. We're tied at 1 here in the bottom of the third. Leading off for the Chapmanville Tigers in this inning is number 2, Talon Thompson, the sophomore. A young, talented sophomore. As you look at all the Chapmanville lineup, 1 through 9, they have 2 sophomores in this lineup. As that pitch from Fry is in there, called strike 1. Fry with an 0-1 pitch. And that swung and a miss, and there goes the bat into the dugout of Winfield.
More than one way to skin a cat.
As I hope someone's okay, and I hope we have instant replay. I mean, that's not a great instant replay, but I hope someone is definitely okay. As Talon Thompson, if you can look on our instant replay, he swung on and he forgot to hold the grip of the bat, as that was very fortunate that did not take out a Winfield player. But, hey, in baseball, that's another way to quiet a dugout. Not the fun, safest way to do it, but it is a way, as that pitch is upstairs for ball 1. As I have an interesting story of Chapmanville. Back in 2021, I was calling a game on my iPhone as Chapmanville's can't remember who it was. He swung on a miss, and that bat went flying out of the reach and almost hit a person in the stand in the sectional championship against Logan. As that pitch is foul tipped back, count will remain 1-2. Carson Fry with the 1-2 pitch. And swung on a miss by Thompson high. Upstairs. He probably could have laid off of that, but instead he decided to swing at it. And that is strikeout number 3 for Carson Fry. And that will bring up the catcher, number 14, Brody Dalton, who is a WVU baseball commit. Fry, 2 pitch. Dalton foul tips it back off of the, looks like the catcher's face mask, into the net for strike 1. Fry looking for his 4th strikeout of this contest. We got a pretty good crowd here at Ted Ellis Field to watch a top 5 matchup in the state in Class AA. Here comes the pitch from Fry as Dalton checked this swing, and they're going to call for an upstairs high ball 1. Fry with a 1-1 pitch to Dalton. Dalton foul tips it out of play over the press box. The count will go to 1-2. As that pitch is fouled out of play. And it looked like it sounded like it hit a building. Hopefully it doesn't hit a car.
Better not have hit my car.
As CD Mayo says, it better not have hit her car. As here comes the 1-2 pitch, and that is inside, misses, barely misses for ball 2. As I know it ain't going to hit my car. I'm parked way over at Chapmanville Middle. So I should be good. Here comes the pitch. Dalton hits that one to straightaway center, camping under it for Winfield. Is the center fielder for the Generals, Schaefer, and he makes the play for out number 2. And that'll bring up for the Tigers, number 9, Trey Butcher, the center fielder. As I lost my sheet and I was trying to get back the fielding placements for the Generals, and I got it back. So that pitch will miss outside, ball 1. Fry with a 1-0 pitch, and that is low into the dirt. Butcher had to move out of the way for ball 2. And we're going to get a time as Winfield coach and the catcher will come out to talk to Carson Fry, as it might be a quick, just a quick chat, just to tell him to calm down. And you got no one on the run, no runners in base, on base. All you need to do is just settle in, get this strike, and get this strikeout, and we'll head back into the dugout, trying to retake the lead in the top of the 4th. He's probably going to tell him how to attack Butcher. As Butcher is one of those hitters. If you give him anything he likes, he will put it in play, probably put it into the gap. And then if he's on base and Andrew Farley's coming up, that's a red light warning right there, as Farley's has been one of the most dangerous hitters in this entire state. As the last game against Riverside, he put 2 balls out of play for a home run. Here comes the pitch from Fry, and Butcher Check swing went down third base line, foul out of play. For the count going to 2-2. Or 2-1, excuse me. So Chapmanville would love to have a runner here in the bottom of the fourth on base, the bottom of the third, as that pitch misses outside, ball 3. Fry gets his signs from Cole. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. And Butcher just fouls it out of play into the weeds. As the wind is picking up, as you can see the dirt flying everywhere on the field. And the umpire is just going to call time to wait for this wind to die down just a bit. Luckily, I'm in a comfy air conditioning press box where I can't get blown away. So here comes the full count pitch to Butcher. And that is a base hit right back up the middle past the second baseman. And Trey Butcher will get a base hit here in the bottom of the third. And that'll bring up the dangerous Andrew Farley. And if Andrew Farley, the wind is blowing in to home plate. But if the wind was there to change direction, Andrew Farley gets a hold of one. That ball could carry out of here, probably go all the way up north somewhere if he can get a hold of this ball. Here comes the pitch from Fry as that pitch is upstairs high, ball 1. And Chapmanville has collected their 4th hit off of a Trey Butcher single right past the second baseman. Fry. He doesn't like what he sees from Cole. Now he does. He looks back over at first to Withrow. Fry, 2-pitch. Farley hits a chopper and past the in between short and third. And that will be a single for Andrew Farley, his first hit of the contest, as Butcher will move over to second. And now that'll bring up Joey Canterbury, for the Chapmanville Tigers. Chapmanville with 2 runners on, 1 at second, 1 at first. Here comes the pitch from Fry, and that misses outside, ball 1, and luckily Cole was able to stop it. If not, Butcher would be trotting on down the third, and Butcher would be moving over to second. And Joey Canterbury, the transfer from Logan High School, decided to trade in the blue and gold for the black and orange, as that pitch is high upstairs, ball 2. Fry likes what he sees from Cole. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Swung on a miss by Canterbury for strike 1. As Canterbury was just late on that pitch. Fry looking at his signs from Cole. Looks back at second. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. And that pitch is foul tipped off of the bat of Joseph Canterbury for strike 2. And Carson Fry is 1 strike away from ending this 3rd inning and leaving runners stranded. Fry looks back at second. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swung on a miss by Canterbury for strike 3. And that is strikeout number 5 for Carson Fry. As we're going to head into the top of the 4th inning. Chapmanville leaves 2 runners stranded. We're still tied at 1. And we'll be right back as you're watching Chapmanville Tigers Baseball live on Video Productions. And we're back here in the top of the fourth at Ted Ellis Field between number 1 Chapmanville and number 5 Winfield here this evening, as Topping still on the mound for the Tigers, is leading off this inning for the Generals is number 5 Bryson Brown, who takes a first pitch low into the dirt for ball 1. Here comes the pitch from Topping, and that pitch is fouled out of play into the mountains behind us at Ted Ellis Field. Count will go to 1-1. Topping with the pitch, and that is low, but Bryson Brown swung on at it for strike 2. Brown's last at bat, he got on by a walk, and that ended up being the run to score for Chapmanville as Brown takes that pitch, sends it into right field over Price's head. That's going to the wall. Brown is going to hold up at second. No, he's going all the way to third as that pitch from that throw from Knight is in late as Moore just barely missed that tag for Bryson Brown, and Brown is in there safe. So a leadoff triple in this inning for Bryson Brown of the Winfield Generals, and that'll bring up Brett Bumgardner to the plate, who his last outing flew out to left field. So Topping steps off the mound as he's got a look. Wait, no. Oh, wow. Folks, I don't believe this, but it looked like Bryson Brown missed second base, and they threw over to Knight, who stepped on the bag, and Brown is out. Topping, 2-pitch to Bumgardner, swung up high for strike 1. As I really don't know if we have the instant replay. We don't of what happened. As that pitch is swung up high, Knight's trying to track it down, and what a catch by Price. As Knight was tracking it down, but Price called him off and makes the grab for out number 2. As that ball looked like it was going to be all Luke Knight. As if you could take a look, if we have it on our instant replay, that Knight was tracking it down. He thought he had his eye on it the whole time, but Price called him off and made a great grab to get out number 2. And as that pitch from Topping goes foul out of play, here's the look on our instant replay. Knight was tracking it down, but Price was able to call him off and make a side-handed glove grab to get out number 2. Here comes the pitch from Topping as that pitch is popped up. Topping camping underneath it and makes it for out number 3. So just like that, from a leadoff triple from Bryson Brown, who did not touch second base, and Chapmanville was able to take the awareness of it and make the grab and throw over to second, where Knight stepped on the bag, and that got out Bryson Brown. So with that, Winfield goes down in order, 1, 2, 3. Chapmanville will come back up the bat with Jacob Topping coming to the plate. So we'll step aside as you're watching number 5 Winfield and number 1 Chapmanville tied up at 1 here at Ted Ellis Field, live on Video Productions. And we're back here in the bottom of the fourth. Chapmanville and Winfield are deadlocked even at 1 apiece. Jacob Topping coming to the plate for the Chapmanville Tigers as Carson Fry is on the mound, ready to work to Topping. As Topping swung on and missed, foul tipped it out of the glove of Dylan Cole for strike one. As there was some judgment of what happened back in the top of the fourth inning, as Brown had a leadoff triple, forgot to touch second base, as that pitch swung on miss high for strike two, but he forgot to touch second base. It's like he was getting held up by the coach, and when he got held up, he decided the coach brought him late to third, and due to that little bit of a hesitation from Brown, he missed second base. He didn't tag it, and Chapmanville was aware of it, as that pitch by Fry is hit from Topping over to first base, and Withrow will step on the bag for out number one. But finishing up the thought back in the top of the fourth, Brown didn't touch the bag. Chapmanville was aware, and Topping throws over to Luke Knight, who's playing second base, stepped on it, and Bryson Brown was called out. So on that ground out from Jacob Topping, that'll bring up the third baseman, sophomore, number 18, Braylon Moore, as that pitch is outside of the zone, gets away from Cole's glove for ball one. As Carson Fry on the night, he has a total of 5 strikeouts, gave up 5 hits, and only allowed 1 run. And that run is unearned on a balk, as that pitch just misses the zone for ball 2. As I am Daniel Miller calling this contest between Chapmanville and Winfield, as that pitch from Fry is inside, upstairs, high for ball 3, 3-0 count to Moore. As I am usually the color commentator for WVOW. Bill Lusk usually does the play-by-play, but WVOW is off as that pitch misses for ball 4. So Braylon Moore will take his base as his last at-bat. He got on he got on first base, but wasn't done anything there by a walk. As I forgot to really tally down that Braylon Moore's last at-bat. But now, nonetheless, that'll bring up Eli Surgoin for the Tigers, as that pitch is low in the dirt, gets away from the catcher, and Moore will take second base off of a passed ball from Carson Fry. And Chapmanville, just like that, with only 1 out on the board, has a runner in scoring position at second. Fry looking back over at second. Here comes the pitch. And that's a swing and a miss for Surgoin. Strike 1. Fry gets his sign from Cole. Looks back at second at Braylon Moore. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. And that is high, just misses the zone for ball 2. Fry with a 2-1 pitch, and that is a swing and a miss for Surgoin, strike 2. So Fry is 1 strike away from sitting down his 6th batter and getting out number 2 on the board for Chapmanville, as that pitch is high, way out of the zone. Surgoin had to duck for ball 3. Count goes full. Right now, if you're Eli Surgoin, your job is just to get on base, either by a hit by pitch, a walk, or a base hit, to bring up Luke Knott and move over Braylon Moore. As here comes the full count pitch, and that misses just outside, ball 4. And back-to-back walks given up by Carson Fry. We'll turn the lineup back to the top with Luke Knight coming up to the plate for the Chapmanville Tigers, as he is 1 for 2 today with a pop-up to the shortstop in the first inning and a base hit in the second inning. And Coach Rakes is looking over, looking over, looks like his card lineup for the umpire. Looks like he might make he's going to make a courtesy run. We're going to have a courtesy runner actually for the Chapmanville Tigers. Is number 12. I don't have a number 12. It's Andrew Topping. Andrew Topping is coming in for the Chapmanville Tigers to run for Braylon Moore. But now Luke Knight, the lefty, will be up to bat for the Tigers. As Knight lays down a bunt, just goes outside of the third base line. Count will go 0-1. Fry looks at his signs from Cole, and looks like Knight's going to lay down a bunt. They're going to throw back to the shortstop, Brown, as Topping's back in there safe. Andrew Topping's back in there safe. Knight's going to lay down the bunt again, and coming up is the first baseman. And swung on a miss by Knight for strike two. As we've seen this before from Luke Knight, as we're going to get a time called by the home plate umpire to let the wind blow away, and maybe for the wind to calm down as it's starting to go through. But Luke Knight will show the bunt, but then he'll pull back and try to rip one right back up to center. He has done this once already this season as Luke Knight fouls it out of play. The count will remain 0-2 for the Tigers' second baseman, Luke Knight, who is a transfer from Scott High School. Decided to trade in his black and gold for the black and orange. Fry looks over at Topping at second. Here comes the pitch, and just misses. Good pitch by Fry. Winfield fans aren't happy about that one. But it was a good placement by Fry. Just barely misses the zone for ball one. Fry looking over at Topping at second. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And Knight foul tips it over the press box. Count will remain 1-2. As Carson Fry is up to 85 pitches in this game. Pitch count limit is 110 in West Virginia high school baseball. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Fry as that pitch is inside. Did Luke Knight go around? I'm going to check him there. The field ump says he did not go around, so the count will remain. The count will go to 2-2 for Luke Knight. As again, Luke Knight is one base hit away from giving Chapmanville the lead. As that pitch goes sailing over the head of Cole, and Surgoin and Topping will take second and third. And the count will run full now for Luke Knight. As a wild pitch by Fry just gets away from Cole. So Fry with a full count pitch. Knight sends that one right past the second baseman. That will score one. Holding up at third is Surgoin. But Andrew Topping comes home off of a base hit single, RBI single from Luke Knight, and Chapmanville will retake the lead 2-1 as we're going to get a mound visit by Winfield's coach as he's going to talk it over with Carson Fry, and he's not happy with what Carson Fry gave Luke Knight. But just like I said, one swing of the bat from Luke Knight can make this a brand new ball, make this a new ball game, and Chapmanville has taken the lead 2-1 over number 5 Winfield Generals. And now that'll bring up Talon Thompson for the Chapmanville Tigers. So the runners at the corners with one out. Talon Thompson One of Chapmanville's best hitters is at the plate as he takes that first pitch, swung on and missed for strike one. And it looks like that talk from a Winfield coach is maybe fired up Carson Fry to try to get out number 2 here to Thompson. Here comes the pitch. Thompson hits that one out of play down third base line. Count will go to 0-2 for Talon Thompson. And Thompson's only a sophomore. As you look at the top 5 hitters for Chapmanville in the lineup, only 2 seniors. As Thompson, looks like he check swing that, hits that out of play. And the count will remain 0-2. But back to what I was saying, with Chapmanville's lineup 1 through 5, only 2 seniors, Dalton and Butcher. The rest are juniors and a sophomore. Knight, the junior, Farley, a junior, and Thompson, a sophomore. Fry, 2 pitch to Thompson. Thompson pops it up over our heads over the press box for out of play, and the count will remain 0-2 to Talon Thompson. So he's doing a great job trying to stay alive as Carson Fry is at 92 pitches, and we're not even out of the 4th inning yet. Fry throws over to first to Withrow, and back in there safe is Luke Knight. And Luke Knight has to be one of the best leadoff hitters for any ball club, as he can hit the ball and he can get on with his speed. As here comes the pitch from Fry as Thompson pops it up, and it looks like it's going to get caught by the Fry, and it will for out number 2. And that'll bring up Brody Dalton to the plate, who has, in my opinion, one of the best walk-up songs. Taylor Swift. I believe that's Taylor Swift. Again, I don't listen to much. I do listen to country, but I just don't listen to much music anymore. I guess that's where the oldness is coming to me, and I'm 27. But nonetheless, Brody Dalton is coming to the plate off of a pop-up from Talon Thompson for out number 2. Fry throws over to first, and they got Knight down. Can they throw over? And it looks like they're going to try to tag Knight, and he got away from it. They're going to try to throw over to Jordan. They got him out, but the run will score. The run will count the run will count. So Chapmanville off of that, basically just a give-up run on a pickle play from Luke Knight getting tagged out on the many attempts. It's too fast to happen to write it down, but after the Luke Knight situation, Surgoing comes home and he scores, and the lead moves to 3-1. Chapmanville leading Winfield. So with that, we have ended the 4th inning. We're going to go into the top of the 5th. Chapmanville leads 3-1. We'll be right back as you're watching Chapmanville Tigers baseball live on Video Productions. And we're back here in the top of the 5th. Chapmanville plates 2 runs in that inning to take a 3-1 lead over the Winfield Generals. Leading off for the Generals this inning will be the left fielder, number 2, a sophomore, Preston Kiefer. Preston Kiefer is 0 for 1 today on a strikeout in his last plate appearance. Topping pitches swung on a miss by Kiefer for strike 1. Jacob Topping has a total of 7 strikeouts in this contest. He's trying to make 8. Topping pitches to Kiefer, and he swung on a miss. He swung too hard. He almost fell off of his feet. As the count will go to 0-2. So Topping with only 57 pitches in this game, looking to make it easy for Chapmanville as that pitch is fouled out of play by Kiefer. As Fry is almost close to the pitch limit, Topping is far away from the pitch limit as he has pitch total number 58. Here comes pitch number 59. And swung on low, missed by Preston Kiefer for strike 3 and out number 1. And that is Topping's 8th strikeout of the contest. And that will bring up Xavier Hensley, who last at bat is 1 for 1. He got a single and advanced all the way to third, but was stranded at third from a strikeout from Schaefer that ended the top of the third as that pitch just misses. It misses the zone. It was close, but misses for ball 1. Topping with the 1-0 pitch, and that pitch is fouled off, and it hits looks like the umpire's mask, and he's just shaking it off. It either hit the umpire's mask or the catcher's mask, but the count will go to 1-1. And Topping didn't like that ball, so they're going to trade it out. Brody Dalton's going to give him another one. Topping with the 1-1 pitch. And that pitch is swung on a miss for strike 2. Right now, Topping's looking to make strikeout number 9 right here, as that pitch is high upstairs for ball 2. Topping with a 2-2 pitch, and that pitch is fouled back to the backstop. Count will remain even at 2. Xavier Hensley was just lucky to honestly make contact. He wanted to pull the bat back, but he was just that lucky to make contact, and he didn't go all the way around for another strikeout to Topping. Topping with the 2-2 delivery, and that is low into the dirt, gets away from Brody Dalton. So the count will remain full. The count will go to full, 3-2. And with only 1 out on the board, Winfield needs to get a runner on base as they trail 3-1 to Chapmanville. Here comes the pitch, and that is low into the dirt. Well, no, looked like the dirt. It looks like the wind might have blew it, but either way, Xavier Hensley will take his base at first off of a walk by Jacob Topping. And now bring up the top of the lineup for Winfield, the pitcher, Carson Fry. Topping, 2 pitch, and just misses on the bottom left corner for ball 1. Topping throws over to first, and Hensley's back in there safe. And that pitch is in there for strike 1. As Chapmanville's next game will be tomorrow at Mann High School, as that pitch is low into the dirt. Good block by Brody Dalton. Count will go to 2-1. But tomorrow, Mann will be hosting the number 1 Chapmanville Regional Tigers down at William T. Carter Field. Bill Lusk and I will be on the call as Topping throws over to Farley at first, and Hensley's back in there safe. That game time is set for 7 o'clock. Here comes the pitch from Topping, and beautiful pitch into the bottom left corner for strike 2. Bill Lusk and myself will be on the call for that game, as you can tune in on WVOW as Fry fouls that pitch back to the screen. Count will remain at 2 apiece. And Andrew Topping is at 71 pitches in this contest. And he's trying to look for strikeout number 9 in this game. Here comes the pitch. And low, trying to get that bottom corner. Just misses. Count will go to full, 3-2. As up next for the Winfield Generals will be Withrow. He's on deck. So here comes the full count pitch for Fry. And did he go around? And they said he didn't. So Fry holds up his swing, and he will take his base on another ball, back-to-back ball thrown by Jacob Topping. So 2 runners are on base for the Winfield Generals, and 1 is in scoring position. But before they can get to Blake Withrow, Chapmanville is going to take a timeout as the pitching coach is coming out to talk to his players and talk it over, see what they need to do to get Withrow, who is 0 for 2 today on 2 strikeouts, 1 in the first and 1 in the third. And if you're Winfield, you can't leave opportunities. You can't leave opportunities on the base paths, as you got 2 runners now on the base path, and all it takes is 1 single from a Winfield batter to cut into this lead and try to get back into this game. So after that mound visit from the Chapmanville coach, everybody's back to their position. We're ready to resume play between Winfield and Chapmanville. Again, Winfield coming in at number 5 in the Metro News baseball poll. Chapmanville moves up to number 1. Here comes the pitch from Topping that misses outside. Ball 1. And Chapmanville's 12-2 on the record on the season, with a big victory over Logan, and big victories over Scott here at Chapmanville, and they got their rematch coming up later down the road as that pitch just misses outside. Ball 2. As Topping was the wing pitcher for Chapmanville against Logan down in what you wouldn't want to call Wildcat country, Roger Egert's Field. And here comes the pitch, and Withrow looked like he just closed his eyes and swung on a miss at that one. High for strike 1. Topping got him good on that pitch. Topping gets his signs from Brody Dalton. Looks back over at Hensley, who's on second base. Gets him to retreat. So Topping will reset. Topping looking back at Hensley, and he steps off again. Hensley's trying to get into the head of Topping, trying to get him to throw off his game, as 2 more balls thrown by Topping, and they got 2 runners on, bases loaded, but that pitch will be called strike. Got the low corner, so the count is even at 2. So Topping's 1 strike away from getting his 9th strikeout in this contest. Topping looking back at Hensley. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. And just misses, but they got a pickle play down as they're going to throw over to Moore, and they got him at third. So they got the lead runner out as that pitch misses. Look, the pitch from the umpires misses for ball 3. Count goes full, but not until Xavier Hensley was thrown out at third. If you can look on our instant replay, Brody Dalton throws over to Thompson, and Thompson was able to find Braylon Moore to get the tag, get the lead runner Hensley out. So with 2 outs on the board, Withrow foul tips that ball to the backstop. Count remains full at 3-2, but Carson Fry moves up to second. Topping gets his signs from Brody Dalton, and that pitch is in there, called strike 3. It doesn't matter anyway, as Withrow goes down looking, and Topping gets his 9th strikeout of the contest. So Winfield leaves a runner stranded as we have played 4.5 innings, as Chapmanville still leads 3-1 over the Winfield Generals. We'll step aside and be right back as you're watching Chapmanville Tigers baseball here at Ted Ellis Field, live on Video Productions. Ellis Field. Winfield trails Chapmanville 3-1 here in the bottom of the fifth. Coming up to the plate for the Tigers will be Brody Dalton, Trey Butcher, and Andrew Farley in that order. As Brody Dalton is 0 for 2 today on a ground out from the shortstop to first. Or no, he's on with a single, and he got thrown out. In the first inning, he got tagged out at home plate as he tried to do a circus dip-de-doo to touch the home plate, but he got tagged out by Cole, and then his last at bat, he flew out to center field. So batters 3, 4, and 5 up for Chapmanville as Fry, who's thrown pitch number 94, will miss for inside high, ball 1. Here comes the pitch from Fry as Dalton pops it up, and it looks like it's in the play of Carson Fry, who's going to make the grab, and he does for out number 1. And that'll bring up number 9, Trey Butcher, who is 1 for 1 today with a single back in the third inning. He walked his first at bat back in the first. So the lefty Butcher, who's the center fielder in this contest for Chapmanville, is coming to the plate. Here comes the pitch from Fry, and that is in there, called strike 1. Fry with the 0-1 pitch to Butcher, and that hits Butcher as he wears that fastball pitch, and it'll move him over to first on a walk. And now that'll bring up the dangerous hitter, Andrew Farley, who is 1 for 2 today with a strikeout in the first and a base hit in the third. So Fry wears that pitch. From Fry. So Butcher will wear that pitch from Fry as Farley swung on a miss, strike 1. As I wrote it down on the wrong name in my score sheet. That was my fault on that part. But nonetheless, Andrew Farley, if you leave him one up where the numbers is, that ball is going probably out of Logan County. Might head into Boone County. So here comes that pitch just outside, misses, ball 1. As down in Logan, the first time I got to see Andrew Farley, he put that one over one of the fastest center fielders in the state, Aiden Slack's head. And then against Riverside, he put 2 out in the same spot to blow the game open in the mercy rule against Riverside Warriors in 6 innings, 12-2. As Carson Fry throws over to Withrow, but Butcher's back in there safe. So here comes the 1-1 pitch from Fry, and swung on a miss by Farley for strike 2. Fry looking over at Butcher at first. Here comes the 1-2 delivery. And Farley swung on a miss. Strike 3. And that is another strikeout for Carson Fry. His 6th strikeout of the contest. And that'll bring up number 8, Joey Canterbury, who is 0 for 1 today on a strikeout. He got the bat in the first inning, but didn't get the finish after Brody Dalton was tagged out at home plate. He walked in the second inning and struck out in the third. As that pitch from Fry is in there, strike 1, as Fry has now reached over the century mark with 102 pitches. So 8 more pitches, and his night is done. Fry, 2-pitch, misses, and the ball just got out of the glove of Dylan Cole as Butcher takes second base off of a successful steal. So the count for Canterbury will go 1-1, and Butcher is in scoring position at second. So a base hit here from Canterbury can pretty much score Butcher and bring curtain call to Carson Fry as that pitch is low outside for ball 2. Canterbury looking at the pitch from Fry. Fry looks over at Butcher. Here comes the pitch. And that pitch is swung on a miss from Canterbury. Count will go full at 2 apiece. And Carson Fry is at pitch 105 with pitch 106 coming up. As he he collects himself. Fry to pitch. And Canterbury gets a base hit single past the second baseman. Butcher, he's going to hold up at third. So Joey Canterbury gets on with a single. And runners are at the corners for the Tigers. And they'll bring up number 13, Jacob Topping. And you'd have to think this will be the last batter for Carson Fry unless Jacob Topping was to ground out, fly out on the first pitch, and then Carson Fry can finish, can continue pitching at pitch 108 in the top of the 6th inning. But I would assume no matter what, after this inning, he is done, as Winfield's coach, Will Isaacs, is using Fry to the limit. So Joey Canterbury's on first. Butcher's on second. Here comes the pitch from Fry, as that pitch is high upstairs for ball 1. And that is pitch count number 107. So if you're Topping, you're just looking to build up the pitch count so you don't have to see Fry maybe your next round at bat, as he swung on and missed there. Strike 1. Pitch 108 was thrown. Now pitch 109 is on the way, and this will be the last batter for Carson Fry this evening, as Topping gets a base hit rip right past the second baseman, in between second baseman and first, and Butcher will come home and score, and Chapmanville will extend their lead 4-1 on an RBI single from Jacob Topping. So right now Carson Fry can actually continue pitching to Braylon Moore, but this definitely will be his last batter. So now with 2 runners on, Topping at second, and Topping was at first. He's going to get courtesy ran for the pitcher, as number 19, Eli Messer, a sophomore, coming into courtesy run for the Chapmanville Tigers. Braylon Moore steps in as Carson Fry will throw pitch 110, and this is his last batter, as we will not see him after this batter, whether the lineup continues or they go into the top of the 6th. Or bottom of the 6th, excuse me. So Fry steps off. Looks from the signs from Cole. Here comes the pitch. And that is low. Misses the zone. Ball 1. Fry gets his signs from Cole. Looks back over at Canterbury at second. Here comes the 1-0 delivery. And that just misses the zone. Good placement by Fry. Just misses on the outside edge for ball 2. Fry, the senior, looks over at Canterbury. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. And almost the same spot, but this time they called strike. Count goes to 2-1 for Braylon Moore, who is a sophomore on this Chapmanville ball club. Here comes the pitch from Fry, and swung on a miss by Moore. Strike 2. Count goes even at 2. So Fry wants to end his night on a strikeout. And move the pitching duty up to the next Winfield batter. As here comes the 2-2 pitch, and that is inside. About hits Moore for ball 3. Count goes full. So Fry with a full count to Braylon Moore, for the full count to Fry. Fry, pitch 115 coming up, as this is his last batter, as Moore foul tips it off of the face mask of Dylan Cole. Foul out of play. Count will remain full at 3-2. So you'd have to think Winfield, they don't have no one down in the bullpen warming up. But in mind, they do have someone on ready to replace Carson Fry after this batter. Here comes full count pitch. Swung on a miss by Braylon Moore. Strike 3 and strikeout number 7 for Carson Fry, as that'll be curtain call for him, as Carson Fry went to the limit of 116 pitches. He struck out 7 batters, only gave up 8 hits, and allowed 4 runs for the Chapmanville Tigers. So with that, we're going to step aside and be right back, as Chapmanville will take the mound and Winfield will come up to bat, as you're watching Chapmanville Tigers baseball live on Video Productions. Welcome back to Ted Ellis Field, home of the Chapmanville Regional High School Tigers. As Winfield's coming up to bat here in the top of the 6th. Chapmanville leads 4-1 over Winfield. As here comes the pitch from Topping, and that is swung on and hit by the batter for Winfield, Dylan Cole, and he gets a single right past the glove of Braylon Moore. So first pitch, first swing for Dylan Cole when he gets on with a base hit. And now that will bring up number 4 for the Winfield Generals, the center fielder, Maddox Schaefer. Topping. Throws over to first. Farley was able to corral it almost. Looked like he almost bobbled it, but Cole was back in there safe, as the catcher usually they would run for him, but instead he's going to run on the base path, as they usually bring out a courtesy runner for the catcher or pitcher to speed up the game. But Cole decides he's going to stand in there and run. So Topping, second attempt, throw it over, safe, as that pitch is high upstairs for ball 1 to Maddox Schaefer. Schaefer is 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts. 2 of 9 strikeouts for Jacob Topping, as that pitch misses low, ball 2. So Winfield will have a new pitcher next time they come out into the field. And Jacob Topping is at pitch 83. He's far away from 110. As the pitch swung on a miss by Maddox Schaefer. Strike 1. Schaefer's looking for his first hit today, as again he is 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts. Here comes the pitch from Topping. Swung on a miss again by Schaefer, strike 2. So Topping is 1 strike away from getting strikeout number 10 on the game. Here comes the pitch. And that is in there, strike 3, throw over to short, and they got him at second base. Cole trying to steal to second. Good throw from Dalton to Talon Thompson to tag him out. So a strikeout and a throw out. And just like that, Winfield has 2 outs on the board with Bryson Brown coming up to the plate. As you can look on our Video Productions instant replay, strikeout from Topping, thrown out from Dalton to Thompson. And just like that, Winfield has just been sat down for 2 outs, as that pitch from Topping is low outside, for ball 1. Topping with a 1-0 pitch, and that's a hard-hitting single by Bryson Brown into left field. Canterbury corrals it, throws into Thompson. And if that throw out wasn't in time, maybe Winfield would have a runner at third, runners at the corners, with Brett Bumgarner coming up to the plate, who is 0 for 2 today on a fly out to center in the second and a fly out to right in the fourth. So Bryson Brown gets on with a single, and he is 2 for 2 today with back-to-back singles, as that pitch is swung on a miss by Bumgarner for strike one. Here comes the pitch, and that is foul up. Almost hit the camera. Ooh, that is close. I don't know if we have an instant replay, but maybe it'll just show how close that was hitting the camera. No, we don't. And luckily, I don't think VR Productions want a replay of that one. As here comes the pitch from Topping, and that pitch is hit high into the air. Camping under it is Talon Thompson. No, he can't see it. Canterbury can't get it to it, and he falls right in front of him. A run will score on a bloop single as that ball was hit high in the air. No one could corral it. Thompson thought he had a grab on it, but then he had to pull back. He couldn't see the ball. And
Throw it home. He missed the plate.
And excuse me, sorry. And Canterbury just misses. As we don't have instant replay on that, but it was a hard hitting, high fly ball. Just couldn't. Canterbury and Thompson just lost it, couldn't corral it. So Winfield takes advantage and score with Bryson Brown coming home. And the Winfield Generals cut into the lead. They trail 4-2 on a bloop single by Bumgarner. And now coming up to the plate is the designated hitter, Gray Miller, as he takes that pitch for ball one. Topping with a 1-0 pitch to Miller. And that is in there, caught the edge of the corner, strike one. Topping with the pitch to Miller, and that is high up and away, ball two. So just think, if that throw out from Brody Dalton wasn't on time and Winfield had a runner safe at second, this could have been a one-run ball game. Here comes the pitch from Topping, and low misses, ball three. Count is 3-1 to Gray Miller. He's the DH hitting for the right fielder, Brayton Boggs. It's Topping, 3-1 pitch, and misses, ball four. So Winfield will have a runner on at first at second, and we're going to get a mound visit from Chapmanville's coach. As coming up to the plate for the Generals is number 2, Preston Kiefer. But it looks like I don't think Chapmanville is going to make a pitching change. They might make one. I don't know if they are or not. I think Chapmanville coach is going to just come out and talk to them to say, hey, guys, we have 2 outs on the board. Bloop single doesn't hurt us. But if you just need to settle in and just make sure you get this batter out. As wouldn't even try to worry about the runners because you don't want to make another error mistake and allowing Winfield to take advantage of it and cutting into the lead. So really, I think this is just a strategic talk, trying to talk him down to say, hey, if make the easiest play and just get this batter out. As Preston Kiefer is 0 for 2 today on 2 strikeouts. He's part of the 9 strikeouts thrown by Topping in today's game. So now Kiefer will step in for the Generals, and Topping is going to look to try to make it 3 in a row against Kiefer, sending him down on strikeouts. Here comes the pitch from Topping, and that misses upstairs. Ball 1. Winfield has 2 runners on first and second. Right now, Brett Bumgarner standing on at second, and Gray Miller is standing on third as that ball is into the dirt. Gets away from Dalton. He was able to finally find it. but no advancement from either runners from Winfield. As Winfield's being smart on the base path, they don't want to get thrown out again in this inning. So the count will go to 2-0 to Kiefer. Kiefer takes an inside pitch, ball 3. As Brody Dalton throws to Talon Thompson. Talon Thompson was lucky to get his glove on it. If not, that ball would have got away into the outfield, and Brett Bumgarner would have stolen from second to third and maybe come home. So a 3-0 pitch to Kiefer. And that is in there, strike 1. You had to know the take was on from Kiefer, trying to get on with a ball 4 and load the bases. So here comes a 3-1 pitch from Topping, as that is a base hit by Winfield, and it's going to go foul. Just barely misses the line to stay fair. As 2 runners were charging. Two runners were already on their horse. That would have scored 2 runs, but just misses the line. Foul ball. I mean, that was close. That just barely had to miss by a fingernail. So a bad break for the Generals. But here comes the full count pitch, and swung on and missed from Kiefer. Strike 3, and that is strikeout number 10 for Jacob Topping. As we're going to go into the bottom of the 6th, Winfield scores a run off of a bloop single from Bryson Brown. But no more damage is done as Winfield leaves 2 runners stranded. We'll be right back as you're watching the Chapmanville Tigers baseball action here live on Video Productions. All right, and we're back here in the bottom of the 6th. Chapmanville leads Winfield 4-2. Infield changes for the Generals. Now the new man on the mound for the Generals is Blake Withrow. He replaces Carson Fry, who threw 100, who went over the limit at 110, who struck out 7 batters, allowed 4 runs on 7 hits. As that pitch from Withrow just misses Surgoin, who's now batting for the Tigers, ball 1. As Fry moves to right field, Boggs moves into second, and Bumgarner moves to first. As that pitch misses again from Withrow, ball 2. Here comes the 2-0 pitch from Withrow, and that pitch is swung on and foul tip back towards the screen from Surgoin. Count will go to 2-1. As the lineup goes like this. Surgoin up at 1, Knight next, as we get a loose ball that comes away from the Chapmanville bullpen as they got 2 pitchers, or it looks like they got a pitcher warming up in the bullpen. Can't tell who was down there, but the lineup order goes from Price, Knight, and Thompson as that pitch misses low, ball 3. Again, I am Daniel Miller. Thank you for watching Video Productions. My engineer on today's game is Sidney Mayo. Robbie Mounts, our camera operator. And that pitch misses inside. Ball 4. And Eli Surgoin will take his base. He was 0 for 1 today on a strikeout, his first appearance in the second inning, and then he walked his now last 2 at-bats. And now bring up Luke Knight, who is 1 for 2 today, as that pitch hits Knight, and he will take his base. And with no outs, 2 runners on, Talon Thompson comes to the plate for the Tigers, looking to blow this game open, as we're going to get a mound visit, and looks like we're going to get a substitution coming around, as in now for the Winfield Generals, replacing Boggs at second will be number 16, Ian Cox. A freshman comes in to play second base now, as Boggs will come out, and I would assume that okay, so Boggs do come out, and Cox will move over to second. Ian Cox will play second base for the substitution made by Winfield. So Talon Thompson is stepping up to the plate. He is 1 for 3 today with a single in the first, a strikeout in the third, and a pop-up in the fourth, as he pops that one up to Carson Fry, and Fry is camping under it to make the grab for out number 1. And no runners advance for Chapmanville. And now Brody Dalton will come to the plate for the Tigers, looking to be the guy that brings home Eli Surgoin from second. Brody Dalton, the senior catcher, who is also a state champion basketball player for the 2023 Chapmanville Tigers. Dalton looking to do his job and bring home the runners, as that pitch is low into the dirt. Ball 1. Brody Dalton was a part of that 2023 state championship team that had Swaggy Saldine, Zion Blevins, Devin Workman, Isaiah Smith all in the starting lineup for a very talented Chapmanville ball club, as that pitch misses. Dalton 0-2 or 2-0 the count. And Dalton, he missed some of basketball season with an ankle injury, was able to come back in tournament play and make it count for the Tigers, as he swung on a miss there on the inside pitch for strike 1. And then Dalton is a talented football player, quarterback, led the Chapmanville Tigers through their first playoff appearance since 2016, as that pitch is low in the dirt. Good block by Cole for ball 3. And Dalton, if Chapmanville Tigers can get to the state tournament, then Dalton could join a very, very short group of players to make it to the football playoff, basketball state tournament, and baseball state tournament in Logan County, as that pitch from Dalton is hit. And as it gets away, Dalton is going on to second. Coming home is Surgoin. Talon Thompson will take third, as Dalton hits a short pop-up, and they're not paying attention. Knight comes home, and Dalton will take third. So just blown awareness there by Winfield, not knowing the situation, and Luke Knight scores from third, and Chapmanville extends their lead 6-2. So a bloop single by Brody Dalton on an errant throw by the second baseman Cox, who comes in to make the throw over to Bumgarner, gets away, and Surgoin scores. And then Winfield, just not aware of the situation, Knight scores from third. Here comes the pitch from Withrow, as now stepping into the plate is Trey Butcher, who takes that pitch low, ball 1. And Butcher Pass it up, and good catch by the third baseman for Winfield. Hensley on a check swing pop-up by Trey Butcher. And now Andrew Farley will come up to bat for the Chapmanville Tigers. Farley is 1 for 2 today, 1 for 1 today with 2 walks and a single as that pitch just got in there for strike 1. Here comes the pitch, and it gets away to the backstop, and Dalton will trot home from third, and Chapmanville extends their lead on a pass ball. They now lead 7-2 over the Winfield Generals. As you can look on our instant replay, that pitch was low, bounced to the screen, and Dalton, the senior awareness, takes the home plate, and now Chapmanville will add on to their lead. But Andrew Farley, who's known for his heavy bat, if you give him a pitch that he likes up by his numbers, he will put it out of play. As Farley takes one deep, that could go to the wall. That is gone! A home run shot for Andrew Farley right on cue. What I mentioned, you put one up by the numbers, and he will make you play as he hits one out, and Chapmanville adds on to their lead 8-2 over the Winfield Generals. And guys, if you didn't know back at home, Andrew Farley, he's known for that. As you can take a look. No, we can't. We don't have it on our instant replay, but if we did, man, Andrew Farley just took one out of the park and extends the lead for Chapmanville as Joey Canterbury is coming up to the plate, who takes his first pitch for ball 1. As that pitch from Withrow just is in there for strike 1. Here comes the pitch from Withrow as Canterbury hits I think he hit that off the ground and it popped up out of foul play. So the count will go to 1-2. But Andrew Farley got a hold on that pitch, and it was gone as soon as it touched the bat. And that is what Andrew Farley can do for this Chapmanville ball club, as he is a dangerous hitter and one of the most dangerous hitters in this state. As Canterbury checks his swing, but the first base umpire said he went around for strike 3, and that is Withrow's first strikeout of the contest. But Chapmanville does damage in that inning. They played 4 runs. One of them was off of an Andrew Farley solo home run. Luke Knight, Brody Dalton, and Eli Surgoin comes around and scores for the Tigers as they extend their lead 8-2 over number 5 Winfield. So we'll step aside and be right back as you're watching Chapmanville Tiger Baseball live on Video Productions. And we're back here at the top of the 7th. Chapmanville, number 1, leads number 5 Winfield 8-2 And Andrew Topping is still the man on the mound for the Tigers as he's got pitch 102. He's got 102 pitches in his arsenal today, and he's got 103 coming on the way to the batter for Winfield, Xavier Hensley. And that pitch from Topping is in there for strike one. So Topping's looking for strikeout number 11 on the contest. Here comes the pitch, and that pitch is fouled over the head of over the press box. Count will go to 0-2. But a recap of that last inning. 3 Tigers scored, Dalton, Surgoin, and Knight. But the big story was Andrew Farley's solo home run. As that pitch from Topping is swung on and miss. Strike 3 and strikeout number 11 for the pitcher, Andrew Topping. As now coming up to the plate for the Tigers, for the Generals, is number 34, Carson Fry, as the Tigers are well in their way for getting 2 more strikeouts to ending this ball game. Topping with a pitch. That is high upstairs. Ball 1. Here comes the pitch from Topping. Looks like low into the dirt. Don't think it hit the dirt for ball 2. My vantage viewpoint is the umpires blocks the view of the plate as that pitch is low and in there for low and away, ball 2. Strike 1. Excuse me, I was looking at the wrong thing. Anyway, here comes the pitch from Topping as that pitch is popped up, foul over the press box head. Count will go even at 2 for Carson Fry. As that pitch from Topping is grounder from Fry to the first baseman Farley, who steps on the bag for out number 2. And that is it for Andrew Topping. As he went the distance with 110 pitches, and he struck out 11 batters, only allowing 7 hits and only giving up 2 runs on no errors. So now they're going to make a pitching change. While they do, looks like Ian Plumley is going to come in to relieve for Andrew Topping, coming in to finish the job for the Chapmanville Tigers. So while he gets warm up, I'm going to step aside, and we'll be right back as you're watching number 1 Chapmanville versus number 5 Winfield live on Video Productions. All right, we're back here in the top of the 7th. 2 outs for Winfield. New pitcher in for Chapmanville, Ian Plumley, as that is a base hit by Blake Withrow. Before I can even mention him coming up to the plate, that's first pitch, first swing, and he gets a single. And that will keep the inning going for the Winfield Generals as they need 6 runs to tie this ball game, 7 to take the lead on the number 1 Chapmanville Tigers. As I was meant to say what Withrow done in this contest, he is 0 for 3 on 3 straight strikeouts, but he finally breaks through and gets his first hit. And now that'll bring up for the Winfield Generals Dylan Coleman. Before I can even mention him, he gets a base hit. So 2 straight hits for Winfield off of first pitches back-to-back has kept the inning going. And right now, if you're Winfield, you're looking to make it 3 for 3 with Maddox Schaefer coming up to the plate, who is 0 for 2. 0 for 3 today. 2 strikeouts, and I think on a ground out. I forgot to mark down Withrow. Schaefer's last at bat as everything was going on in that inning. So here comes the pitch from Plumley, and that miss is outside, ball 1. Plumley in the relief for the Chapmanville Tigers, and he's only a junior. He'll be back next year as one of the probably team's best pitchers coming into the contest. So that's going to be a base hit by Schaefer, and he gets that one into the gap. Winfield will score 1. That will score 2. Rounding third is Cole, and Schaefer holds up at second, so Winfield will put 2 runs on the board. They cut the lead in half, 8-4. As if you're Ian Plumley, you did not want to see that one, as that is a 2 RBI double for Maddox Schaefer. And Winfield cuts into the lead with 2 outs, so they're trying to make a 2-out rally against the Chapmanville Tigers. And that will bring up Bryson Brown for the Winfield Generals, who is 2 for 2 today with 2 singles, and he scored back in the the second inning on a walk. And that gave Winfield the first run of this game, as that pitch misses outside, ball 1. As he walked his first inning and he was able to come around and score. That's what I meant to say. So here comes the 1-0 pitch from Plumley, and that pitch is popped up, and it looks like it's going to get caught by Brody Dalton, who's trying to find it, and he does not, and it falls. Unbelievable. Lost it in the light, and taking advantage coming home is Maddox Schaefer. So a bloop single in the air from Bryson Brown scores Schaefer, who is at second, and the inning continues for the Winfield Generals as they cut into the lead. 8-5 now. The tying run is on deck for Winfield if Bumgarner can keep this inning going with a base hit. Plumley, 2-pitch. And that is inside. Almost hit Bumgarner. And if you'd have to think just a crazy fan strategic way, you want to get hit by the pitch so you can get on base. It's only going to hurt for a few seconds or a few minutes, but you'll be fine after that, as that pitch is in there, called strike 1. The count goes even at 1. But a blown opportunity to end the game by Brody Dalton, lost it in the light, and Winfield has new life. Here comes the pitch, and that's low into the dirt. Good block by Brody Dalton. Count will run to 2-1. Winfield is just 1 base hit away from keeping this game going and making things more worrisome for the Chapmanville Tigers, as that ball will be hit towards the shortstop Thompson. Corrals it, throws over to first, in time for the third and final out, and the rally is denied. That'll do it. In 7 innings, Chapmanville wins it 8-5 over the Winfield Generals and move their record to 13-2 on the year, and Winfield will drop their record to 11-7. So while the teams are shaking hands, we're going to step aside for a minute break, and we'll be right back to tally up the totals for both ball clubs as you're watching Chapmanville Tigers baseball live on Video Productions. And we're back as the Chapmanville Tigers are victorious. The number 1 Tigers winners over the number 5 Winfield Generals by a final of 8-5. As I am Daniel Miller, thank you for watching Video Productions. But we're going to go over the players of the game for Chapmanville, and there's 2 guys that you would have to give it to. Our first one would be Jacob Topping, who was phenomenal on the mound, throwing 11 strikeouts, only allowed 7 hits, allowed 2 runs, and he left 6 runners on base. And the other player of the game is Andrew Farley, who was 2 for 4 today. He had 2 strikeouts on the day, but he was able to get 2 singles, and he hit a solo home run in between left, right, and center field to really extend Chapmanville's lead and put him out of reach for the Tigers getting the victory over the Winfield Generals. As Chapmanville will now take their 13-2 record in tomorrow down at Man Hillbilly Country as they visit the Man Hillbillies at William Tootie Carter Field at 7 o'clock first pitch. Myself, Daniel Miller, and Bill Lusk will be on the call for WVOW Radio's live action of Man and Chapmanville. And then Chapmanville will be back at home here on Wednesday on Video Productions with Sissonville And with Sissonville coming to town, me and Bill Lusk will be on the call for there. And then Friday, they'll have the matchup between Wayne and Chapmanville. And maybe from what I've been hearing, that they'll resume play of the Friday the 14th game between Wayne and Chapmanville here to finish out that contest, as that game down at Wayne is suspended right now with Wayne leading Chapmanville 6-5 with 2 outs and a strike to Levi Queen, with Markham on at second base, with Moore being the pitcher. So what that might do is they might play the end of that game out as acting Wayne as the home team, and then when the game is over, they flip-flop, start a new game with Chapmanville being the home team and Wayne being the visiting team. I would assume that might happen, but we don't know. Only time will tell is when the coaches come down here and do it. But for Chapmanville, they get a big victory here over number 5 Winfield, and they remain undefeated in the Cardinal Conference and regional play, as they are one of the hottest teams in Class AA and looking to maintain their number 1 ranking with a tough schedule coming down the road, especially between Monday and Wednesday, where they have the Scott Skyhawks. They got to go to Scott on the Monday the 24th, and then host the rematch of the 2-time defending state champion Logan Wildcats here at Ted Ellis Field on the 26th. But guys, that'll wrap things up here at Ted Ellis Field. Chapmanville wins it by a final of 8-5, and I am Daniel Miller. My camera operator is Robbie Mounts, and my engineer for today's contest is Sydney Mayo. So guys, thank you for watching Video Productions coverage of Chapmanville Tigers baseball. I'm Daniel Miller, and I'm going to sign out. I'll see you guys next time.